Relationship Talk with Trev. Normally, I'm ranting about something having to do with relationships. That's what this channel is basically about. But today, this is going to be a little different. So if you tuned in to hear something about relationships or whatever, and you want to tune right back out, I totally understand. I have other interests. A few other things that I get involved in, and one of them is the stock market. I'm teaching myself the stock market as I go. There's still so much to learn. I'm also getting involved with cryptocurrencies. And so this video is honestly aimed at that community. I belong to a couple different Discords where we talk about stocks and crypto, and we try to educate each other and help each other out in our trading careers. And so this is basically for them, and I'm going to post it there, and you guys can watch it. Now, if you happen to be interested in cryptocurrency or stocks or anything like that, and you want to watch, I mean, feel free. As I said, I'm teaching myself, so what I'm going to talk about today is going to be totally my opinion and my take, like usual. I might not be right on how I'm viewing this, but so the President Biden, just signed an executive order having to do with, is he about to sign? I think he's already signed it, right? It's an executive order having to do with cryptocurrency, and the government sticking their nose in it, from my point of view. And the whole deal with cryptocurrency is that it's decentralized. It's not like the fiat currencies that we deal with, that are all basically government controlled, But I think anyone involved in crypto has always had the fear, because we know what the government is like, that they're going to try to stick their nose in it. They're going to try to govern it, control it in some way, to their advantage, like usual. And so this executive order was signed. Now, I'm reading on Twitter and different places, some people are okay with it. They think that crypto should be governed to some extent, and some people aren't. Some people see it as the government taking control of this thing that should be part of the free market. So I've got in front of me on my phone this fact sheet. That's my dog making noise. Where is she? There she is. Where is she? Oh, can you see her? Yeah. Anyway, hard to wait. Oh, now she's looking at me. Say hi. Say hi. Okay. Anyway, I'll let you care about that. I just want you to know where those noises are coming from. They're not coming from me. Anyway, so I've got in front of me the fact sheet. It says fact sheet: President Biden to sign executive order on ensuring responsible innovation in digital assets. And it's not very long, so I'm going to go through it. And I'm not a professional at this stuff. I mean, I'm looking at this from a layman's point of view. So, like I said to begin with, I could be wrong about how I'm interpreting this. And if I am, let me know. Tell me what I've got wrong. Let's talk about it and figure this thing out, because I think it's going to have some pretty big implications on cryptocurrency soon. This isn't even something that they tried to put through Congress and go through the regular channels. This is executive order stuff. So he wants this done now. So let's talk about it. All right, I'm going to read through it. I'm going to give you my interpretation, ideas. Some of this stuff, to be honest with you, I just don't understand it. I don't understand what they're talking about. So, hopefully some of you out there can educate me on it. All right. So anyway, let's get going on it. Fact sheet: President Biden to sign executive order ensuring responsible innovation in digital assets. This outlines first whole of government strategy to protect consumers, financial stability, national security, and address climate risks. So they're covering a lot there. Now, I'm skeptical by nature, and I'm not really a conspiracy theorist per se, but I do think that there's more going on usually than what they're really just coming right out and telling us. And a lot of times, a lot of these policies or a lot of these things that are sold to us as good for us are, there's something else veiled in it that we might be unaware of. And what I'm getting. All right, so I'm an AMC member, AMC Stubs, A plus whatever member, right? Signed up for it. I've got the app. I've got my card number. I've got whatever. If I drive within a mile or two of an AMC theater, I get a pop-up on my phone. And it tells me, hey, you're near, whatever time, you're near an AMC theater, come watch a movie, buy some popcorn, whatever. It knows where I am, okay? If I go to the mall and I'm near, and because I've got an iPhone, right? If I go to the mall and I'm near an Apple store, hey, you're near the Apple store, it knows where I am. So GPS, we've got it in our watches now, we've got it in our phones, in our cars, and it is a huge convenience. I mean, I'm old enough to know, and I used to drive a truck. Well, I still drive a truck, but I mean, I used to drive long distance. And, having to pull over and open up the map and figure out where you are and try to remember what exit to take and everything. I remember those days. And when GPS came out and it tells me step by step what to do, oh my God, what a huge convenience. And so it's sold to us as a huge convenience, and it is. It does benefit us and helps make life easier. But they know where you are 24/7, what you're doing. They use it to try to sell you products if you get too close to a particular store. Hey, come on in and buy this, buy that. People have gotten to the point where they've gotten these weird metal wallets to try to, keep people from knowing what's in their wallets or what credit cards they have or whatever. There are these little Apple devices now. I've got them. I've got one in my wallet. I've got one on my keychain. So, and it's a little GPS. And if I lose my wallet or if I misplace my keys or whatever, or even if I leave my wallet in the car and I go in the house, it tells me, hey, you left your wallet behind. It's a lot of control. So something like this that is sold to be for our benefit, protect consumers, financial stability, national security, and address climate risks. Sounds good. What's really going on? I don't know. We'll see. All right. I know I'm ranting, right? This is going to be a longer one, so just be prepared. Digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, have seen explosive growth in recent years, surpassing a $3 trillion market cap last November and up from $14 billion just 5 years prior. Surveys suggest that around 16% of adult Americans, approximately 40 million people, have invested in, traded, or used cryptocurrencies. Over 100 countries are exploring or piloting central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, a digital form of a country's sovereign currency. Digital currency, cryptocurrency is growing, and it's growing in its usage. I think we've all probably at this point heard reports of how people in Ukraine, with all that they're going through right now, they haven't been able to access any of their fiat, any of their regular currency in their banks, and how they're getting by is using their crypto. They're making purchases and stuff with cryptocurrency if they have it. So it's, it's becoming more and more useful. And I think that the governments of the world are realizing that. Certainly the U.S. government is realizing that. They're seeing the writing on the wall, where this is potentially going to challenge, to some degree, the U.S. dollar, fiat currency. And they have no control over it so far. So, let's go on. The rise in digital assets creates an opportunity to reinforce American leadership in the global financial system and at the technological frontier, but also has substantial implications for consumer protection, financial stability, national security, and climate risk. So they keep plugging away at that. Excuse me. The United States must maintain technological leadership in this rapidly growing space. All right, so tap into our desire to be, U.S. #1 kind of thing. Supporting innovation while mitigating the risk for consumers, businesses, the broader financial system, and the climate. And it must play a leading role in international engagement, in global governance of digital assets, consistent with democratic values and U.S. global competitiveness. Okay, all right, whatever. That is why today, President Biden will sign an executive order outlining the first ever whole-of-government approach to addressing the risks and harnessing the potential benefits of digital assets and their underlying technology. The order lays out a national policy for digital assets across 6 key priorities. And here they are: consumer and investor protection, financial stability, system and economic competitiveness, financial inclusion, and responsible innovation. Specifically, the executive order calls for measures 2, and then there are several bullet points, okay? But they've pretty much already laid out that, from what I'm seeing, they just want to get in it. They want to control it. They want to make sure that it's not interrupting the system too much. Also a part of it, and they keep mentioning climate issues, and I think that's a direct message to those who are mining, because a lot has been made about how much energy consumption there is with mining crypto. So any of you out there who are mining crypto, I think you can safely expect that there might be, some things coming down the pipe that might, curtail a little bit of what you're doing, some regulations that you're going to have to face. Hopefully they don't, totally shut you down, because I know a lot of people, they really rely on what they're mining. I mean, they've got huge systems. We've seen it in our Discord. It's impressive, but you got to be careful. All right, so first bullet point. Protect U.S. consumers, investors, and businesses by directing the department. All right, I'm sorry, that's the bullet point. Protect U.S. consumers, investors, and businesses. Okay. By directing the Department of the Treasury and other agency partners to assess and develop policy recommendations to address the implications. Policy recommendations. Okay. So far right now what they're saying is they want to recommend how this is done, but we know that'll change fast. Policy recommendations to address the implications of the growing digital asset sector and changes in financial markets for consumers, investors, businesses, and equitable economic growth. Fair economic growth. The order also encourages regulators to ensure sufficient oversight and safeguard against any systemic financial risks posed by digital assets. Well, if I'm reading that right, there it is, right? digital assets, cryptocurrency, could put a little bit of a dent or cause some problems with the government controlled and backed and insured US dollar, the fiat currencies of the world. And before that happens, and I think that they see that it's inevitable at this point, crypto isn't going away like some people suppose that it would. It was a Ponzi scheme. It was this, it was that. Before that happens, sufficient oversight and safeguards against any systemic financial risks posed by digital currency. They're jumping in it. There's going to be some regulations that some of us might not like. Okay, next bullet point. Protect U.S. and global financial stability and mitigate systemic risk. I mean, that's basically, so this is a whole bullet point basically on that last sentence that we talked about, okay? So what are they going to do? By encouraging the Financial Stability Oversight Council to identify and mitigate economy-wide, i.e. systemic, financial risks posed by digital assets, and to develop appropriate policy recommendations to address any regulatory gaps. Regulatory gaps. In other words, anything we haven't thought of already, let's fill in those gaps and make sure that we get control of this thing so that cryptocurrency doesn't screw with the system that we have long enjoyed and have control over. I might be looking at it wrong, maybe again, that's just my way, but that's what it sounds like to me. Next bullet point. Oh wait, where was I? Mitigate illicit, protect U.S. government. Yeah, okay. So the next one. Mitigate the illicit finance and national security risks posed by the illicit use of digital assets. I mean, a lot has been said about people using digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, for nefarious reasons, for illicit reasons, via drug cartels and the terrorist groups and all these things. Well, so like you see that they just the SWIFT network, and I don't know all about it. I don't understand it. Very airy kind of understanding I have about it, but the SWIFT network, I believe, was the network of banking, a huge banking system that was used in Russia, and they kind of put the kibosh on that, trying to prevent Russia from having access to their money. Okay, so that's a form of control, and where we all might agree that that's probably a good thing that they were able to do to Russia to try to curtail, this war that they've got going on for no apparent reason. What if everything was in place for cryptocurrency to just be just as valid a currency for doing business as fiat currency? But they didn't have control over it. It's decentralized. It's they wouldn't be able to put those kind of sanctions on people. And so, and like I said, these terrorist groups, these different things where, they'll circumvent the regular ways of doing things with currency because, it can be tracked or whatever, through the banking systems, and there's laundering. There's so many different things that got to happen, but it seems like it's a lot easier for them to use cryptocurrencies. And the more usage, the more wide, usage there is for cryptocurrency, the easier it's going to be for them to do that. And so they want to put together some policies and get together some things that's going to curtail that. I'm okay with that. That makes sense. I'm just always worried about what's underneath of that. What what's under that umbrella? What else are they going to be able to curtail that may not be illicit activity? That may be things that just we want to do, that interferes with what they want to do with US dollar or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, by directing an unprecedented focus of coordinated action across all relevant U.S. government agencies to mitigate these risks, it also directs agencies to work with our allies and partners to ensure international frameworks, capabilities, and partnerships are aligned and responsive to risks. All right, so that's, it just kind of spells it out a little bit. They're going to be looking into that stuff and putting together some policies. All right. Promote U.S. leadership in technology and economic competitiveness to reinforce U.S. leadership in the global financial system. Let me read that again. Promote U.S. leadership in technology and economic competitiveness to reinforce U.S. leadership in the global financial system. All right. By directing the Department of Commerce to work across the U.S. government in establishing a framework to drive U.S. competitiveness and leadership and leveraging of digital asset technologies. This framework will serve as a foundation for agencies and integrate this as a priority into their policy, research and development, and operational approaches to digital assets. Okay, so I don't know that I totally understand that. It sounds like what they want to do is, well, like it says, put together a framework where they can interact with digital currencies, with other countries, but they're trying to get at it first. They want to put the framework in place themselves. Again, control, right? I could have that wrong. I'm not sure that I totally understand that, but so somebody educate me on it. This is the next bullet point. Promote equitable access to safe and affordable financial services. Okay. By affirming the critical need for safe, affordable, and accessible financial services as a U.S. national interest that must inform our approach to digital asset innovation, including disparate impact risk. Okay. Such safe access is especially important for communities that have long had insufficient access to financial services. The Secretary of the Treasury, working with all relevant agencies, will produce a report on the future of money and payment systems to include implications for economic growth, financial growth, and inclusion, national security, and the extent to which technological innovation may influence that future. What comes to mind to me is, obviously Black communities or some other minority communities who haven't had so easy a time with the current financial system, accessing loans and different things. And so, how genuine is this? It feels like them using that a little bit to kind of gain favor, as if they're, doing something good for those communities. But what is it ultimately going to be? Maybe it is. Maybe it is trying to work out ways that they have greater access through digital currencies to do some of the things that we want to do. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Support technological advances and ensure responsible development and use of digital assets. That's the next bullet point. Support technological advances and ensure responsible development and use of digital assets. By directing the U.S. government to take concrete steps to study and support technological advances in the responsible development, design, and implementation of digital asset systems while prioritizing privacy, security, combating illicit exploitation, and reducing negative climate impacts. So they're going to do all these studies. They're going to put together all these reports, and you won't know it, and they'll hide it. Sounds very conspiracy theory, but this is just what I've noticed that they do. These reports, some of them, they may have an agenda before they even do the study. It's not a study necessarily always to find out what the actuality is or what the reality is. They do these studies with an agenda in mind, and they're just doing a study to prove what it is to prove the outcome that they want, to prove that things are the way that they say. And we did a study, and this is what we found. And so we're going to write this report on it. And in the report, we're going to talk about how, we've got to take control of this, because this is what's happening. This is just what I see going down. This is what I see happening. This is just planting the seed. So when they make all these changes, they can say, yeah, we told you, we were studying it, boy. We really wanted to find out what was going on. We wanted to make it equitable for everyone. And, this is the way we've got to do it. And then they just take control of it. Anyway, all right, there's not much more of this. Explore a U.S. central bank digital currency, CBDC. I'm going to say that again. Explore a U.S. central bank digital currency, CBDC. It has an acronym, so it's important, right? Here we go. By placing urgency on research and development of a potential United States CBDC, central bank digital currency, should issuance be deemed in the national interest. They're doing it. They're gonna do it, plain and simple. The order directs the U.S. government to assess the technological infrastructure and capacity needs for a potential U.S. CBDC in a manner that protects Americans' interest. Selling it. They're selling it. It's gonna benefit the government interest of controlling this thing, and maybe even finding a way to make some money on it themselves. The order also encourages the Federal Reserve to continue its research, development, and assessment efforts for a U.S. CBDC, including development of a plan for broader U.S. government action in support of their work. Really? You mean the Democrats are expanding government, adding on another agency? Really? And I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican by any means. And I've voted Democratic a lot, but I recognize, let's have an agency for this. Let's have an agency for that. I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyway, where was I? I lost my place. Order also encourages the Federal Reserve to continue its research, development, and assess its efforts for a U.S. CBDC, including development of a plan for broader U.S. government action in support of their work. This effort prioritizes U.S. participation in multi-country experimentation and ensures U.S. leadership internationally to promote CBDC development that is consistent with U.S. priorities and democratic values. So, again, please correct me if I'm wrong in the way that I'm interpreting this, right? But it sounds to me like just the way we have a banking system, right, for the U.S. dollar, that they're talking about putting together a whole system for digital assets, for cryptocurrency. And I guess when they say digital assets, are they including NFTs? Probably. I mean, the whole schmeal, right? They're going to want to control it all. They're going to put together a system in which they can use to do commerce, right? So here's my thought. Right now, I mean, I don't even know how many different cryptos there are out there. You know, there's new ones popping up every day, and every one that comes up is the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? This is going to be the next blah, 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 blah. There's tons of them. So what if they put together this system, and it's a centralized banking governmental system, and they say in this system, what we are going to use, what's going to be part of this system is Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, let's say that they choose specifically what coins or what tokens are going to be part of this system. And everything else, they've already said that they're going to find ways to regulate and to control the development of. I just see that if that happens, it's a way of limiting severely what cryptocurrencies are then considered legitimate, and just regulating the other ones into the ground so they can never take hold. I don't know. I hate to think that that's what's going on, but that's just what it sounds like to me. And time will tell. All right, so they wrap it up with, the administration will continue work across agencies and with Congress to establish policies that guard against risk and guide responsible innovation. What's responsible? Responsible according to what they think is responsible, right? Who says we're not being responsible? Who says the people that are creating cryptocurrencies already aren't being responsible? I mean, you know, we know some of them are garbage, but we know that. We can see which ones are. I don't like this. Okay. With our allies, the administration will continue work across agencies and with Congress to establish policies that guard against risk and guide responsible innovation. With our allies and partners to develop aligned international capabilities that respond to national security risks, and with the private sector to study and support technological advances in digital assets. And that's how they wrap this up. But all of them, right? All of the digital assets, are they going to work with the private sector to support technological advances of everyone who decides to, you know, build a coin or a token and you know, take advantage of this free system that we have where, you know, isn't regulated, is decentralized, or are they just going to take their pet ones, you know, and work with those? I don't know. I don't feel good about this. I know some people think it's a great idea. You know, with my maybe my mind can be changed about it. My mind can be changed about it if I'm just not understanding this right. So if I'm not understanding it right, let me know. Leave a comment, and let's talk about it. Explain it to me. I'm gonna try to put the link to this report in the description, and I don't know if I can put a link to the Discord. I might do that. If you have any interest in this, we talk about this stuff all day long. So if you have any interest in this stuff, it's a really good resource for learning cryptocurrency and the stock market. And you know, we have people who day trade. We have people who swing trade, which is buying it today and selling it tomorrow, or maybe next week, or maybe next month, or whatever. And then we have investors, you know, that talk about just kind of investing in things for the long term. So I'll try to put that link in the description, and if you want to check it out, feel free to. And we're going to get back to relationship stuff, because that's what this channel is supposed to be. So if you hung in there with me and you watched through this and it wasn't what you were expecting, I appreciate it. If you could hit the like button, that's great. If you could subscribe to the channel, it really helps. And every once in a while, I might use this platform to put out some other things, because I have other interests. But primarily, we are going to stay, you know, relationship support group. That's really what I want to get built here. And it's, people are watching. I haven't put out a video in a little while, but I'm going to get back on doing that too. So I apologize. Something else that I've been going into, still relating to the relationship stuff, is there's an app that I found called Medium, and there's no shortage of subjects where people just write articles. You've got so many different authors, and they write articles about everything from cryptocurrency and from the stock market to relationship stuff to science and religion. And business, anything you can think of, you can find resources there. Some really smart people writing some really innovative articles. So I've been writing a lot there about relationship stuff, and I'll put that link in the description too. If you want to follow me there and read some of my stuff, it's all appreciated. It's all part of the community. So, like, subscribe, you know the deal. Talk to you later.